Hello everybody, it's Rosie here from enjoyyoga.com and rosieglow.com, and what I wanted to share with you today is how to prepare ceremonial cacao for a ceremony. Now, some of you will know I've gone and bought 14 of these lovely blocks, and they come from Guatemala, they come from Keith the Chocolate Shaman, and I have done one ceremony with him which I found absolutely mind-blowing. I'm just going to show you how to prepare it, because really the whole thing with the cacao energy is that it does its own work, so you can play with it, and it's a lot of fun. So anyway, what we've got here is a coffee grinder, which you don't necessarily need. I've had to chomp away at this block with a knife and with a hammer, because this is actually much more solid. You can see it's quite solid here. The last lot I had was very crumbly, so it's just different each time, but we've crumbled it up. What I did was I used my digital scales, and I have prepared 2 ceremonial doses here, so that's a total of 84 grams, and that's, you know, 42 grams for one time dose. If you're new to it, is actually quite a high dose, so it's considered good to do 2/3 of it and then maybe an hour later do 1 more third if you feel you need it, but you don't need to have all of it. You might want to experiment with just 20 grams to start with, and definitely if you are breastfeeding or you're pregnant, no more than 20 grams, that's your limit. I've also got some honey, cinnamon, cayenne pepper, and the cayenne really helps to bring the energy up of the chocolate so you can really feel it working through you. Vanilla extract, got a saucepan, and basically that's all you need. We've boiled the kettle with hot water. You don't need to boil this stuff. I'm going to just try it out in the coffee grinder and see if this actually brings it to a powder, but you can just put it directly into the water and use a whisk to melt it. So let's just see if this works all right. If not, we'll go to plan B. Let's make sure it's plugged in. Now, I use this coffee grinder to grind, well, coffee and also cacao and also chia seeds, which can be very nice for the chocolate smoothie that you can make out of this as well. So give me a sec. Ooh. Sounding promising. Oh, but it's stuck. Let's see where it's going. See how long the grinder lasts. You only want it to go cold. Let's just see how it's doing. Looking good. You can see there it's almost there. Okay, there's still a couple of bits that are quite big. And it's ready. So, I've still got a couple of pretty lumpy bits in here. As I said, this is quite a solid one. I'm going to put the water in first. So what I've got is a measuring jug here, and we're going to measure 240 mils. And actually we'll do just a tiny little bit more. So that goes in there. And then you add the cacao. Okay, so we'll leave the big lumps, we'll see what actually happens with that. Now be very careful, obviously, take off before you take your fingers into it. And then from there, you don't need to add any sweetener to the mix at this stage. We need a whisk, which I believe I have in here. And so you just whisk it around and allow it to melt. Give it a little bit of a stir. You can actually add some cayenne straight away, just a little bit. It's not too hot, and then everybody can add to their own individual taste. Now, this particular cacao is very low in caffeine compared to other cacaos, so it's much more just about the rush of the chocolate, the way that the chocolate works. I'm going to take a fork and mash down these big blocky bits, and then they will be able to synthesize. And apparently, well, the way that it works is once you drink this stuff, it takes about 30 minutes for you to start to feel its effects, although some people feel it instantly. I definitely felt something more or less straight away. but it peaks and you'll get the effects of the cacao in a ceremonial dose for about 4 or 5 hours. Now I drink cacao every day now, and I'll have maybe 20 grams as a dose in a day, and I just find that it puts me in a very lovely happy mood, and it also has stopped me craving mainstream chocolate, so your usual chocolate that's high in sugar. Even the organic stuff, you know, tends to have sugar in it. There's no sugar in this, so you add whatever flavouring you want to add, sweetening you want to add. So you can do honey, you can do maple syrup, you can do agave, you can do coconut palm, or you can use jaggery as well. You can see now it's looking like hot chocolate, but it's magic hot chocolate, that's what I like to call it. It's more or less all melted down, just looking for any bits. And now I'm going to measure it out into 2 cups. So what we're going to do, because it's just 2 doses in here, I'm going to measure it into 2 cups, but we're not necessarily going to have all of it in one go. We'll just start drinking it and then see how it goes. So I think that's all ready. Bring this to rest. Grab a couple of glasses or mugs. And then we'll go for some in here, some in here. There we go. There's a tiny little bit of cacao left there, but I'll put that in with the fork. Every little counts. There you go. So that's the level of the heating involved. Now, I do like mine a little bit sweet. I've got very little honey, but we'll make it work. So using a teaspoon. It's actually quite drinkable without putting the honey in, but it's quite nice to have a little bit of sweetness, I think. I have drank it without any sweetness. That's probably more than enough. And give it a little stir. Now, I know that I like mine quite strong, so I'm going to add a fair bit of cayenne. And I'll leave it to my friend to decide for himself. I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon, and I'm going to add some vanilla. And of course, I will do the taste test for you. So I'll just give that a little bit of a stir. It looks like hot chocolate. It does taste stronger than normal hot chocolate. I wonder what it would be like with children, but I'd be very cautious about trying it. Try it yourself first. You can have a little taste. Wow. Full on. So that's actually not that sweet. The cayenne's giving it a little bit of a lift, as is the cinnamon. And the vanilla's just giving it a nice little edge. So you see, it's only really about half a cup. And you drink it slowly, okay? It's not something you guzzle down. You just take your time with it and invite in the cacao spirit, and also invite an intention in, something you want to work with, or even just ask the cacao spirit, what is it I need to be working with right now, or what is it I need to be dealing with? What do you want to show me? And it will all be revealed. Happy cacao ceremony. Good luck with it. And if you want to buy any, please let me know. You can contact me on Rosie, R-O-Z-Y, at enjoy, I-N-J-O-Y, -yoga.com, or you can ring me on 07811 694 049. Lots of love. Bye bye.